What's up, guys? It's Spoonie. I just finished watching season 1 of the Tokyo Ghoul anime, and I hate to say it, but I did not like the show. Now, this is something I've had my eye on for a while. The concept of the series sounded really cool to me, and I recently started picking up some actual manga, and one of the ones I picked up was Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1, which is the first 9 chapters of the series. I really liked it. I thought it did an interesting job of trying to convey the psychological stress that the main character, Kaneki, was going through, because here he's this normal human who ends up getting these ghoul parts grafted inside him to save his life, and now he's become like half human, half ghoul. And in the manga, there was a lot of like internal turmoil. They made a lot of references to Kafka's The Metamorphosis in terms of the fact that this guy is struggling to adapt to a life where um, the food that he used to love tastes disgusting because he's a ghoul now. So the only thing that will sate his hunger is human flesh. Um, so what ends up happening, at least in the first volume of the manga, is this incident happens. He gets this ghoul stuff in him. He kind of runs into some unfriendly ghouls, and then at the end of the first volume, he meets some friendly ghouls who take him in, and they run a coffee shop that's just kind of like hidden in plain sight. The first volume of the book, the first 9 chapters, are covered in the first episode and a half. Let's be generous and say 2 episodes. There's 12 episodes in the season. And from what I've read, the first season covers the first 66 chapters. So that means after the first 2 episodes, you've got 10 more episodes to get through another 57 chapters, and I can only imagine the stuff that was lost. I think a lot of the more interesting character moments with Kaneki are probably not there. I think the psychological impact of this whole thing is one of the more interesting aspects of the manga, and I doubt they'll explore it in much detail, if at all, in the upcoming anime seasons I have yet to watch. Now, again, I'm just kind of getting back into manga and anime, so I don't know if this is typical in terms of, say, the first volume is like the first episode or two, or if, I guess it depends on the series, really, right? But if the first, like, how they line up the manga and the anime, like I said, in this one, the first volume was like the first 2 episodes, and the remaining 57 chapters of the manga split into 10 episodes. I'm just not gonna get the level of detail that I loved about the manga. However, I feel like I'm a little too invested in the show now. I want to finish watching the series and all the different, like Tokyo Ghoul Route A and all that other stuff. And then perhaps I'll go back and I'll read through the manga, but at this point, I don't want to kind of damage the perception I have anymore. That's kind of misspeaking. It's not damaged, but like I said, I really thought that the show was a letdown, and it just sucks because it was something I was looking forward to. Now, if I'm trying to put myself in the position of trying to be objective and just talk about the show without having any other knowledge about it going in, I think the show was fairly entertaining. It did have some dark moments that actually did get pretty gruesome, but throughout the whole thing, there had this, I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe you guys can help me figure it out. It felt like an anime. It's hard for me to describe. It's like they'll have these like sort of fight scenes that are kind of like significant, and they'll be playing this music in the background, and maybe it's just a personal choice, but I would not have music at all or that type of music. I think it kind of undercut the seriousness of the fight or whatever was happening. I think they could have done a better job explaining the Queen or whatever it's called, that is the ghoul source of power. And in terms of one of the groups of antagonists that are coming for our main characters, the two being like other rival ghoul factions, and then the human kind of police that target ghouls, they introduced this character called Motto, and he was actually really interesting. He was kind of insane and creepy, but at the same time, he was like amazing at his job. And he was around for like maybe 2 episodes, and then they killed him off. And his former partner does sort of reminisce over him, so he kind of appears in flashback scenes. But I feel like the character probably did not come close to his potential. Now, for positives about the show, I do think some of the designs are cool, like the ghouls, so they don't get like ID'd in public and stuff when they go out doing ghoul stuff. They have these masks that are designed kind of based around their personality, and some of the mask designs are really cool and frightening. I like the explanation of the fact that every single ghoul needs to consume human flesh in order to survive. Now, how do Kaneki and the good ghouls do it? Well, apparently they drive around looking under bridges and stuff like that for people who have jumped, and they take these people who are dead and they basically eat them. So they don't go out of their way to kill people because they just want to blend in, and constantly murdering people would draw too much attention. So, hence them going after people who have killed themselves. The development of Kaneki from the first episode to the 12th episode is kind of interesting. Again, I feel like this is better explored in the books, but the show did kind of a decent job of conveying like the fact that this guy has been thrust into this new world with this all new life, and he's trying to maintain specifically a connection with his best friend, but he's trying to maintain elements of his human life while he's being more pulled into and entrenched in this ghoul world. And because he is a human slash ghoul hybrid, apparently he is more powerful or has the potential to be more powerful than other ghouls. Ghouls can increase their strength by drinking the blood of other ghouls, and drinking Kaneki's blood is like the best thing anybody's ever tasted. So this guy's just trying to figure out how to live his life, and then he makes some friends, and he's trying to figure out how to protect his friends who become like family to him. And he gets captured, and he basically gets tortured to the point that he snaps, and his full kind of ghoul side emerges in the final scene of the season. And when I say his sort of full ghoul self, I mean the fact that in most of the promotional material and everything you see, he's just got one red eye, like the ghoul eye, and one normal human eye. But he's pushed so far that he goes kind of full ghoul, and he gets 2 black eyes, and his hair turns white. I know the very next season after this is Tokyo Ghoul Route A. So I don't know how that corresponds to the chapters in the manga. I will probably watch the show first before I go back and sort of look at the details of how much it actually covers to find out how much it actually omits. And my hopes for that next batch of episodes is that they can continue the sort of momentum that they've had from the first season, but also maybe slow it down at parts to get into the heads of the characters a little more or to highlight some of the drama. The action was cool, like seeing all the ghouls fight and stuff like that was really neat. I loved all the big fight scenes, especially towards the end of the season. So I hope that the next season can top that in terms of scale, like epicness, but also in terms of like intensity. Um, yeah, the way the character got tortured at the end of the first season, like that was pretty brutal. He was basically like tied to this chair, and this guy was torturing him and making him count backwards from 1,000 in increments of 7. And Kaneki realizes the reason he's doing this to him, he's making him count, is because it keeps his brain sane. Otherwise, like the pain and the torment would probably you just shut down. But by having to count it out, you have to kind of be present in the moment, and it makes the pain more intense. Anyways, I don't really have any much more to say about this. To reiterate, the manga is better. I'm sure that's probably almost always the case. Um, I do, if you were in a position like me where you hadn't read anything or seen anything, I would recommend reading everything first before watching it, just because I think you probably will enjoy the story more. But the show itself isn't terrible, and I definitely think that someone could watch every single episode in the series and then go back to the book, and that might actually be better because you have an idea of what's coming, but then the book just gives you so much more information and detail. Yeah, that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you.